GK turns the...
It's on now.
It's on. The button is on now, so. It was just that expression on his face like, too late. Welcome, everyone. Our invocation today is going to be delivered by Pastor Brian Watson from the Birdville Baptist Church in Haltom City. We welcome you and thank you for coming today. After the invocation, please remain standing for our pledges.
Would you bow in prayer with me, please? Heavenly Father, our God, we come today and pray and ask for your presence. And we make us mindful of your Spirit as we conduct the work and task of this court. And Father, we know that today many will be coming to and hoping for their best in life. And Lord, I just pray that they will come with humility and respect for this court. And Father, I pray for the officers and judges and commissioners of this court, Lord, that you give them wisdom, that you'll give them a hedge of protection, Lord, about them as they go throughout life. And Lord, is the importance of their positions to this land. Father, we just pray that they would have a humble spirit as well, leading and guiding. But Father, we pray that most of all, they'll be mindful to uphold the laws of the land and the truth and the justices here, Lord, as they deal with the decisions they have to make today. And Father, I pray that you would empower them to honor your word and your justice. And may the peace, your peace, Lord, and your truth prevail this God-given day, and may you be glorified. In Jesus' name, amen.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Honor the Texas flag. I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state under God, one and indivisible.
Thank you, Pastor. Manius, agenda announcements.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the court, we have several announcements for the court this morning. The first one is under the Administrator's section, item A2. There is a corrected court communication in your red folder this morning. It was a minor change that increased the protection on the county on this particular contract. Also, when we get to the briefing items, item 11A, the 2008 E-Pass agreement, we have also given you a corrected court communication in your folder, which we'll discuss at that particular point. And then finally, members of the court, I would like to remind you that there is a special call meeting of the Commissioner's Court tomorrow morning at 11 o'clock, and that's to canvass the votes of the recent November election. Thank you, Your Honor.
Thank you, Mr. Manius. I would also like to just announce, and we will close our Commissioner's Court meeting today in memory of Dolores Pena Astorga, mother of Stella Astorga, who passed away and whose service is being held today. So we'll ask you to keep her and her family in your prayers, and we'll mark that by closing our court in honor of her today, or in memory of her today. Before you now have the minutes of our regular meeting of November the 6th.
Move approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Next, we have proclamations. Our first proclamation is for National Adoption Day, and I believe Nancy Fisher, the Executive Director of Court Appointed Services Advocates, is here. Would you please go ahead and come forward, and I'll begin by reading the proclamation into the record. Whereas there are thousands of Texas children who have been abused or neglected or abandoned by their natural birth parents, and more than 1,100 of these children are in Tarrant County, and whereas many of these children's only hope for a full and productive life are to be accepted by loving homes, and whereas adoption allows children to be reared in a safe, loving, and nurturing environment, as adoptive parents take on the role of guiding, teaching, nurturing, and loving children in order to provide them the best possible chance for being productive citizens. And whereas we commend these families for their sacrifice they are willing to make to enhance the lives of these children, and whereas the children being adopted today by these loving and special families will have a new chance in life to fulfill their hopes and dreams. And whereas this is a special day to celebrate, and we send our best wishes to the children whose adoptions are made final today and to the wonderful families who will give them unconditional love. Now, therefore, be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby proclaim November the 17th, 2007 as Tarrant County Adoption Day, in witness whereof we heretofore set our hands and cause the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 13th day of November, 2007. And I'll move its approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Come forward. Let me go ahead and present you with this, and then make any comments that you'd like to make.
Well, first of all, I'd like to say a huge thank you to the Commissioners Court, to each of you commissioners and the residents of Tarrant County who show such a loving way toward these children who need so much. We believe at CASA, along with the other volunteers and Child Protective Services, as well as the courts and the attorneys and all the hundreds of volunteers that will come out on Saturday, that we're able to turn these lives of hurt into lives of hope. And if you'll just give me a quick liberty, a few weeks ago, one of our volunteers got a phone call from a 4-year-old little girl whose adoption had been consummated that very afternoon. And so she's representative of the 70-some children that will be adopted on Saturday, which is an exciting day, especially after a life of abuse and hurt, that they can now know that they're in a safe, permanent home. She picked up the phone, and on the other end was her CASA volunteer, and out of the voice of this little 4-year-old girl was a simple statement full of excitement saying, "Oh, I want you to know, I am now in my forever home." And so thanks to the generous community, to the heartwarming people in our community, we're able to bring lots of forever homes into the lives of these children. So I thank you on behalf of those kids, their families, and all the volunteers that will make it a very fun day for many families in our community.
I look
Thank you.
forward to seeing you on Saturday and being there and being a part of this. And again, thank you very, very much for all that y'all do. And I know that you have the support of a lot of folks from the county who volunteer and who help with that process.
We consider it a pleasure and a blessing to be in Tarrant County, sir. Thank you.
Nancy, please give us the details on that celebration.
We will. Oh, with the details, it starts at Saturday morning right down here in the Family Court building across the street over here, 9 o'clock, and... Oh,
It's kind of like trying to find
okay, I'm
504C.
sorry, someplace. I know it's here.
It's 504C is somewhere on this floor, but it will just point.
Thank you for your assistance. We'll have hundreds of attorneys coming out that are donating their services, along with judges that are giving up their Saturday morning to come out. And you've never seen such a fun-filled day as far as families coming together. And it's just a huge celebration and something we're proud to be a part of, that both Gene Boyd of the 323rd and Judge Lehrman of the 360th have been a part of for many years. So it puts us on the map. It makes us very, very proud.
Thank you very much.
Thanks.
Thank you.
Next, Commissioner Brooks, you have a resolution of commendation for TXU.
Yes, Your Honor. Tarrant County is full of corporations that take their responsibilities to be good citizens of this county seriously. The good works that they do are just phenomenal and dwarf those of corporations in many other counties. But sometimes one just is over the top in its generosity. And I think that's the case that we have today. And that's why I was pleased to honor Human Services' request to sponsor this resolution. Would you read it into the record, please?
You bet. Whereas TXU Energy's commitment to service goes far beyond providing electricity, it also invests in communities it serves through programs that help consumers pay their electricity bills during times of financial need, contributes to economic development activities, and improves the health and welfare of thousands of people every year through corporate donations and the generosity of its employees. And whereas TXU Energy has collaborated with local community organizations to educate and empower consumers across the state through the Beat the Heat program that is designed to create awareness about the importance of staying cool and healthy during the hot summer months. And whereas, as an extension of its Check on Your Neighbor program, TXU Energy has committed up to $150,000 in past summers to Tarrant County communities in preparation for special programs, if needed, to meet heat emergencies and assist customers during the summer's high temperatures. And whereas the TXU Energy Aid program helps families in critical situations meet their electricity needs through generous company contributions and customer donations, with more than $1 million sent to local social service agencies in Tarrant County, helping to provide temporary bill payment assistance to more than 5,000 local families in need. And whereas recently TXU has participated in the Summit on Poverty by providing sessions on economic development and adult basic education, donated $5,000 to the Back to School Roundup program that provides school-aged children with the essential supplies and services they need to start each school year, and co-sponsored the Fort Worth Civic Orchestra's Teddy Bear Concert for the past 3 years, helping provide free tickets to children and their families who reside in homeless shelters and low-income households to introduce classical music and impact the families in a positive way. And whereas TXU also donated $25,000 to Texas food banks, providing more than 125,000 meals to local children and their families, provided $20,000 of financial assistance to the Chisholm Trail chapter of the Red Cross, and generously committed over $1 million to victims of Hurricane Katrina and Rita to help provide housing support as well as deposit and utility payment assistance. Now therefore be it resolved that we, the Commissioners Court of Tarrant County, do hereby commend TXU Energy for its significant dedication and commitment to providing community service in Tarrant County, in witness whereof we have heretofore set our hands and caused the seal of Tarrant County to be affixed this 13th day of November 2007.
Move approval.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. The motion passes unanimously.
I'd just like to say that in this age of energy deregulation, TXU has stepped up to the plate in working with our Human Services Department in a way that no other electric utility has. And that is a tremendous benefit to the people of Tarrant County. The second thing is that y'all gave $5,000 to the Back to School Roundup this year. We were not able to serve all the kids we needed to serve, so we'll be back and we'll be looking for a larger check next year for the children of Tarrant County. We have present this morning Kelly Rod, the Director of Community Relations, and Kim Campbell, Manager of Customer Advocacy and Community Relations, to accept this proclamation.
Yes, sir.
This one, great. I got more energy than the judge.
Goes around, comes around.
Let's do one more. Thank you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, sir.
You're welcome to make it.
Yes, thank you, Judge and Commissioners. There's something I would like to share with you. We don't do this by ourselves. We've got a whole host of partners in the room today, and y'all come up here to take advantage of this recognition too, please. You know, regardless of what it is, whether it's a storm, the hurricane strength size, or storms that came through Tarrant County, which after it was all over, we realized were the 6th largest in some piece of history, or food bank needs, or the everyday needs of people that have to understand how to pay those electric bills, we want to be there. And one of the key things we've done most recently is provide a $150 million commitment going forward, a 5-year commitment to help us provide a low-income discount ongoing to anyone that has that need and is eligible for that discount, a 10% discount for them, and also to provide $5 million in bill payment assistance so that agencies like those in Tarrant County can help us distribute it to those in need. So we've got a lot going on with a lot of great partners, And yes, after I went to that back-to-school roundup that day and saw the need, and saw the shoes, and saw the kiddos, I bet you will come back, and I bet you we will do a little more next time. But
Thank
there's
you.
a lot to do, and we're glad to be a part of Tarrant County. I personally live in Tarrant County and love it here. Thank
very
you.
much.
Thank you.
Our next proclamation or congratulatory resolution is for the Grapevine Opry, which is celebrating its 20th anniversary this year, in fact, in the month of November. And that will be presented at a later time, so I will move for its ratification at this point.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. The motion passes unanimously. Court members, you have before you the consent agenda.
Move approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second for approval of the consent agenda. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, under the Administrator Section Item 1, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve a resolution relating to the issuance of Series 2007A and Series 2007B revenue bonds by the Tarrant County Cultural Education Facilities Finance Corp. for Christus Health in the amount not to exceed $220 million.
Move approval. I didn't hear what I need to hear, Mr. Mann.
They also have, included in your packet is Christus' letter that relates to the county's HUD policy.
Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Your Honor, members of the Court, on item number 2, we're requesting that the Commissioners Court approve a contract with Access Group for the filming of a television commercial in the historic courthouse.
I'd move approval, but don't they have any courthouses in Wausau, Wisconsin?
Not that look like ours.
Not any that look as good as ours, Commissioner.
I'll second that motion. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Ms. Snyder?
The Management Board has considered 2 claims, and they're recommending the approval of the claims listed on your agenda.
Move approval. Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Mr. Phillips? Morning.
Good morning.
Morning.
It is requested that Commissioners Court approve additional professional services with LBL Architects for the new Southeast Subcourthouse project relating to the obtaining a Leadership in Energy Efficient Design certification for the building.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
It is requested that Commissioners Court approve a contract with Gilbane Building Company for the construction management pre-construction services for the jail facilities project that was included in the 2006 Capital Improvement Program.
Move approval. Second.
A motion and a second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
It is requested that Commissioners Court approve a contract with Steele and Freeman regarding construction management pre-construction services for the Northwest Subcourthouse expansion project in Lake Worth.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Ms. Glenn?
Move approval to receive and file the personnel agenda. Second.
We have a motion and a second to receive and file personnel agenda. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Mr. Beecham?
Good morning, your other members of the court. We have 2 items for your consideration this morning. Our first item is a bid award recommendation for RFP number 2008-007. This is for the development of the Integrated Justice Information System User Experience Model. Recommendation will be to award to Expedient Technologies, the amount of $200,000. If approved, we're also seeking contract approval from the court.
Move approval. Second.
We have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Our last item is an item in regards to RFP number 2007-182. It's an RFP for records management off-site storage. We're requesting permission to reject all bids and seeking permission to rebid with revised specifications.
Move approval. Second.
I have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Thank you. Commissioner Johnson, you have a interlocal agreement, I believe.
Yes, item 8K1A and B, has that been approved? Move approval.
Second.
We have a motion and a second for approval of items 8K1, A, and B. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Appointments. Okay, you have before you the claims, including the addendum.
Move approval of the claims, including the addendum.
Second.
We have a motion and a second to approve the claims, including the addendum. Any other discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. Briefing items, Mr. Manius.
Thank you, Your Honor. Members of the Court, we have two items we'd like to bring to you this morning. The first one, item A, concerns the 2008 E-Pass agreement. Ms. Worthy is here to address the Court at this time.
Good morning.
Morning.
Rob.
We currently offer e-passes to our employees to purchase to allow them to ride a variety of bus services offered by the T. The T is changing its plan for calendar year 2008. Right now, we offer a full-year pass at a cost of $20 to the employee. The total cost of the pass is $80, with the county subsidizing $60 of that pass. That current pass allows the employees to ride all of the fixed route T, the TRE, and DART. In the future, in 2008, the changes to the plan will be that there will be two types of bus passes sold from the T. One will be called a local e-pass, and that will be for fixed routes on the T bus service here in the Fort Worth area, and for Zone 1 of the Trinity Rail Express, which is primarily the Fort Worth stops and the Tarrant County type stops on the TRE. Then in addition to that, there will be what they call a premium e-pass, which will be similar to what we've offered in 2007. It would still allow for the fixed T routes, the Zone 1 Trinity Rail Express, and it would offer also the DART, light rail system, the trolley, and other services by the Trinity Rail Express. In addition to that, what we need to decide as we go through and look at this is, are we going to want to sell both types of bus passes and offer both types of bus passes to our employees? And what subsidy do you all want to offer with that? Based on our ridership, we pay for the bus passes based on our ridership, and we currently have almost 270 individuals that participate in this plan, which does allow us to get the largest price break with the T. And so the price for the local bus pass from the T with that type of ridership is $50, and the premium is $100. Okay? Obviously, if we continue to do the subsidy of the $60 like we do this year, the local pass would be at no cost to the employee. What we are proposing, and
I mean, you said 150.
the local is 50,
Yeah, but
and the
what it's showing
premium.
here on, and maybe this was the corrected, I know you said corrected, but this is showing 55 and
I'm sorry,
105.
55. That is correct. There's a $5 fee for the photo ID that you have to purchase. The actual pass is $50 with the additional $5. You're correct.
Okay.
Sorry. So what we are proposing is to continue to offer the local pass for $20 to the employees, which would require that the county subsidize that by $35. And the premium pass would be offered to the employees for $45, with the subsidy remaining at the $60 as it is now. In the past, in addition to the purchase price, if the employee purchased it at a date after January, the prices were prorated based on the remainder of the year. That option will no longer be offered through the T. If an employee buys a bus pass in July, they pay the full price. It's not prorated out. So that service will no longer be offered by the T.
But if they buy it in July, will it still be for 1 year?
It will be for the remainder of that calendar year. It will be good until December of that calendar year. So it's still quite a cost savings.
Okay.
For if someone were to buy the local bus pass through just the daily bus passes, it would have an approximate value of $600. If they were to purchase the premium bus pass based on local, the individual charges, it would be a value of approximately $960. So even if they buy it later on in the year, they're probably still getting a cost savings. Obviously, if you get to November, December, they may want to buy day passes or a monthly pass, which they can purchase directly from the T. They can buy a $40 monthly pass. So, at some point, and wait until January to purchase the annual pass from us. We do plan to bring this back for your consideration next week for you to vote on the decision about whether we will offer two types of bus passes, what the subsidy will be. And we currently also offer the bus passes to dependents, and so the dependents can purchase a bus pass through us as well, and whether we want to continue that service.
If I see what you're offering right here, in all likelihood, the cost to Tarrant County is very possibly going to go down.
Yes.
Because in the past, we've been subsidizing $60 on every
Correct.
ticket, and on this one, if somebody just wants the local pass, then we're going to be going down to $35.
And when I did some research on the individuals that are currently participating, most of those individuals live in the 7-6 zip code, which would probably mean they would only need the local bus pass. They wouldn't need the premium. And certainly if they buy a local bus pass because their trip to and from work is in that 7-6 zip code, but on a weekend, on occasion, they want to go to Dallas, they could still buy a day pass to use the Trinity Rail Express to go to Dallas and not purchase that premium.
Does that Trinity Rail Express Zone 1 include service to the airport?
The Zone 1 is the T&P station, the Fort Worth ITC, which is this downtown, Richland Hills, Hurst Bell, and Centerport DFW Airport is considered Zone 1.
Yeah, I don't know that actually gets you, I don't know if they have something that takes you from Centerport up to the airport or not.
I don't believe so.
Outside of Zone 1, what is listed on the Trinity Rail Express brochure is Irving,
They do have a shuttle.
Market Center, Victory Station, and Union Station is outside of Zone 1. So that's primarily the Dallas and
Now,
county.
so this is what you would plan to bring back next week, or if we were to go along with the recommendations, is there any reason not to go ahead and take action now?
We would prefer to do it next week since we can agendize it for an action item, though it's ready to be acted on today if you'd like.
Move approval.
Second.
Have a motion and a second. Any further discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously.
Thank you.
Never put off till next week what
That's
you
right.
can do today.
We'll give you next week off, Robin.
Your Honor, members of the court, we have another briefing item.
We're going to talk a little turkey?
Hopefully it's a briefing item, yes. Ms. Palmer is here to address the court at this time.
She's having a little trouble out of the turkey.
Need to get her.
This turkey isn't as tall as the biggest of turkeys we've had in the past.
No, it's not as tall as Mr. Hudson, but it's a pretty smart turkey. And here's what I'm
You're
for.
the chick that I like to see.
This Friday's the day, and the bird is the word, y'all. We are going to have a refrigerator truck from Kroger at 505 Main Street. This year, Kroger and Capital One are partnering with us, and the district attorney's office is shaking down the attorneys right now. So is the county clerk's office. Several people are, tax office, all hard at work to get the bird built up for the Tarrant Area Food Bank. We've even negotiated a special price with Super Target. So we're ready to go. Our goal is over last year, which was 798 turkeys. I'd love to see 1,000 because we've built it about 200 every year. But the only way I'm going to do it, and we're going to do it as county employees, is if everyone pitches in. So lately I've been selling these charming finger puppets for $20. And been very successful. What that $20 does is it feeds a family of 4 a Thanksgiving meal, including a bird and all the fixings. We don't think about it, but we have over 65,000 children in Tarrant County who are on free and reduced lunch. That means they are what the federal government calls food insecure. Is their pantry empty? No, but it may have Cheerios and peas, and that's all. So what we're about, and all three of you know it because you've been doing it with me for 7 years, is we're trying to rally the troops. Our regular food drive has been moved to the summer, and the reason is that the food bank had to buy food last summer. They have a lot of canned food drives that are going on at the holiday season, and after consulting with them, they said they really could use the canned food that we produce, our 150,000 pounds, in the summer. So that's going to give us something new and fun to do this summer. I don't know how we'll be organizing it. We won't have a turkey to kick it off, but maybe the district attorney's office can come up with a turkey for us to kick it off with. And I want to thank you for your time. And,
There
one
were so
other
many
thing.
opportunities for statements at that point, and I'm glad you didn't pause at all.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. And now, of course, you know, every year we have lovely awards, and here are some of them that are coming up for the turkey drive. This one's a real special one. At any rate, and then there's this one for last place. But at any rate.
Is that a hat?
Yes.
But maybe the hat ought to go to the, I mean, GK, your department
Actually,
went
my
out and
picture
kicked the
wearing
can.
this, my picture was wearing this hat was in the Star Telegram last week. So, at any rate, that's it. That's why I'm here. I appreciate your support. I appreciate your encouraging your employees to
Now,
show
let
up down
me
on Main
again,
Street.
$20 feeds a family and it buys the turkey, and
And if that's not in your budget, I'll take anything. $10 buys a bird, a big bird, because I've
so when you set your goal for 1,000, you're looking for 1,000 turkeys or 1,000 meals, or both, or what are you?
I'm looking for 1,000 frozen turkeys in that reefer truck down on Main Street. But I'll take the money too, Judge. Actually, the food bank would be grateful for the money, shall we say. And so I know that we're probably pushing 500 right now.
So if somebody give, I mean, what's your? And I,
Yes, sir.
If we give you, I mean, for every $10 you get, that buys a turkey to
Yes,
put
sir.
in that truck.
That's right.
Okay.
And actually, it buys a good-sized turkey because Target's been real generous with lowering their price per pound. And as you know, in this market right now, with the gas prices, what they are, and all of the corn and feed going to ethanol, things have gone up a little bit, so.
Yeah, your
Turkeys-
turkey's not quite as big this year as what it was last year.
No, it isn't. It's not as tall.
To feed it a little bit more.
Yeah. But more energetic, in case you haven't noticed.
Yeah, it hasn't slowed down yet, so.
Okay.
Who
Thank
is
you.
the turkey?
Now, who would you think has most energy here of anybody to keep up with all the junk?
Not anybody that we see regularly.
Yeah, thank you all so much. I appreciate your time.
Okay.
Your Honor, that's all we have this morning.
Yeah, well, that was a good way to end it.
We do have one audience participation.
We do have an audience participation. At this time, I'll call, we should have worked on this before we got here. Pamela Cammerdiner, come on forward. And if you would, when you get up here, go ahead and, again, say your name and the address so that they can get that into the record. Welcome this morning. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. My name is Pamela Cammerdiner, Kammerdiner, and I was instructed to come here regarding a concern I have about my residential septic system and permitting. And apparently you're the top of the line for decisions about
For
that.
septic tanks?
Apparently so, Your Honor. That's what I was told.
You can go ahead and edit that.
Somebody had to be there. We moved to our home in 1148 North Highview in Mansfield. I don't know how much information you need, but there was a septic spill. By that I mean the septic system, the old septic system was actually disconnected and allowed to drain from the toilet under the pier and beam house, which eventually ran down that little creek into the drainage creek. I was told when we purchased the house that the creek had been decontaminated by EPA putting lime on it. And eventually we buy the house and I get there and I start having some real concerns, primarily health on my part, and things that just seem odd to me. So I started doing some research, and I started by calling the health department. Mr. David Jefferson, I believe, is over the septic systems county-wise, and just discussing concerns with him, and had a lot of conversations with him and about concerns about that, the septic system, and concerns about if the spill had been, remediated. And anyway, long story short, after a lot of research and not very good results, actually no results from the county, it was determined that the on-site drawing and the soil evaluation and the OSSF report, the written document, had the septic system installed in a certain location. And as I understand, that's the way the law requires that it be. And that actual drawing and all that paperwork was filed with the county along with an affidavit from the owner at the time saying that this is how this is done. And it's closed, but it does not match. And after some contact with the director, I believe is it Dr. Adams?
Yes.
And he wrote me back and he confirmed that the septic system was not installed according to the documents that are filed with the county and the deed and as they're drawn. And but that Mr. Jefferson had assured him that they still met all the guidelines. Well, first of all, I have a real issue with the document that's filed is filed under an affidavit and does not accurately reflect where the septic system is installed. So in the future, my husband and I would be under the requirements that it match the drawing, and I don't have any documentation to show where it's actually drawn. I've talked to everybody, and when I say everybody, I mean, if you can think of someone else for me to call, I've called countless agencies. I spoke to Jeff Tate, who's a supervisor, I believe, of Texas Environmental Quality Commission, and I believe he's the one that said I should come here. He suggested that perhaps there'd been a site change drawing, and that is why the septic system was installed differently. And he was going to follow up on my complaints and my concerns about that and get back with me, and I never heard back from that. And my question to him was, if something's filed with the county as a part of a legal document, shouldn't it accurately reflect where the septic system is placed? And he agreed that yes, it should. And I also have questions as to how Mr. Jefferson, and I'm not trying to slight anybody, but how he could possibly know that it met all regulations without even being aware from the documents I have that it was not installed according to the plans. There's no variance request. There's no, the law that I read, the Health and Safety Code and the Texas Administrative Code, all of that says that if you want to do it differently than it's drawn, you need to request a variance and come up with a new site drawing and then see if that's approved. And the comment in the law is that they rarely are. And then if that is approved, then you file that with the county and proceed. There's not a variance request. To my knowledge, there's not a site change drawing. I have difficulty believing that there's a legal document that's just not filed legally, if there is such a document. And my husband and I measured from where the septic system sits down into the middle of this is another issue, the drainage ditch. It is a drainage ditch, I'm told by the city of Mansfield, because it runs through my property and the neighbors under the street. It may not be full all the time, but I have some pictures, not that you need to see them, but when it rains, it does get very full, and in the past 5 years, it has flooded my neighbor's home. So we're talking about the same creek that had the contamination stuff. Everything I've been told says it's supposed to be 50 feet. The septic system is supposed to be 50 feet from the middle of the drainage ditch. My husband and I measured it, and at best it's 42. That may not seem significant, but it is when you're talking about this is the same house where the raw sewage had come down from underneath and drained down into that creek. Mr. Jefferson is under the impression that that is a grade creek, is what he referred to it as. when I discussed that with Mr. Tate, he said he's not familiar with the term Gray Creek. So all of this to say, I really would like for the legal documents on my house to match with where the septic system actually is installed as the law requires, because I'm going to be held accountable for that. From this point forward, everybody I talk to says, well, you realize if there's a problem with the property now, you're responsible for that. And that's the point I'm getting at. I have some real health concerns for myself and just the property in general. I did have some water tested by Talum Services that actually come out of the spray out tank. And it had a 3,200 fecal coliform count. And I explained that to anyone and everyone, Mr. Tate, and he says, I'm trying to recall exactly, but it was either 100 or 200 per milliliter, and that's with it chlorinated. I've had that system checked at least 3 times. So, it's a brand new system, it's an aerobic system. I can't explain how the system is working and how the count can be that high. But that count, the way the system is installed now, the first spray out is in line with my bedroom window. The next spray out is at the very back of my backyard. It's 2 acres, okay? And with just a little bit of airflow, and it's the drawings and the report says it's supposed to spray out at nighttime only, not nighttime disbursement. It sprays 24, and with any airflow at all, that comes right onto my living quarters. And I do believe that the system is too close to the drainage creek, and I understand Mr. Jefferson's authority on that, but like I said, I don't know how he could even say that it meets all the guidelines when he couldn't possibly know that there was an issue when there's no documentation. On the permit, I have the permit, there's no mention that it's not drawn according to plan, there's no request of a variance. When you just look at, it took me a long time to figure it out because you're just assuming that the documents are accurate, and after doing a lot of examining, I realized the old system is sitting pretty much, the new system is sitting pretty much where the old system was, which is up closer to the house. And those spray outs are much closer. The original design has both spray outs being on the back part of the property. Mm-hmm. And the only reason I can figure that would be done is cost. The question is, I don't know why that was permitted like that. And I'm very concerned for my health, and actually for anyone's around there. I spent a ton of money on vet bills, on my health. So I guess I would like for you or the Commissioners Court to give authority or to approve this matter being investigated by TEQC, is that?
TCEQ.
TCEQ, yes, because they're informing me they can't do anything without.
Let me, I appreciate very much your comments, and I appreciate
Sure.
you coming here this
Sure.
morning. And first off, someone may have explained this to you. Because this was not listed as an item on our
Right.
agenda, we're not allowed by state law to discuss it or to respond back even to your comments this morning. What I will do is ask Mr. Manius, our county administrator, to get with you and to see if this matter can be resolved to your satisfaction.
Okay.
And then, to the extent that you're not satisfied with that, then I would ask that you ask Mr. Manius to go ahead and agendize this item so that we can have an open discussion in the future regarding this particular item. But if you'll do that for us and attempt to work with Mr. Manius, and I'm sure he'll work through public health and Mr. Jefferson's area, see if we can come to some resolution on this. And then again, if you're not satisfied, then just simply ask him to agendize it.
Okay.
And so sometime in the next few weeks, we could be here again discussing it, but at least at that opportunity, we will be able to respond, ask questions, and try to understand better exactly where this situation is. But I do want to thank you again for coming here today and for sitting through our meeting and for coming up, and I know that that's not an easy thing to do.
Well, it's okay. It was a little stressful, but I appreciate you listening.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
If there's no other business, then at this time the Commissioners Court will recess the open session and proceed to closed session to discuss items exempted under Sections 551.071, 072, 074, 076, and 087 of the Texas Government Code. Thank you all.
E1.
E1.
Under item E1, we have four subrogation checks. The first one is the amount of $1,861.30. The second one, the amount of $335. The third one, the amount of $1,291.52. And the fourth one, in the amount of $2,400. And we're requesting that these checks be deposited with the auditor.
So moved.
Second. Motion second. Any discussion? Please vote. Motion passes unanimously. I believe that's it. You'll make note of closing in honor of our memory. Adjourned.
Okay.
We'll go see if there's anyone left in the auditor's office.
Correct.
They're having a little luncheon for the auditors.
Today is our auditor's birthday.
Yes.